In a small, quiet village nestled among the green hills of Korea, lived a young girl named Sejin. Her heart was heavy, for her mother was very ill. Day after day, Sejin would sit by her mother's side, her small hands moving with a gentle rhythm, folding colorful paper into delicate cranes. In her village, there was a belief that folding 1,000 paper cranes would grant a heartfelt wish. So, with every fold and every crease, Sujin poured all her love and hope into the paper, whispering a silent prayer for her mother's recovery. "One crane, one wish for you, Iyama," she would murmur, her voice soft as a summer breeze. The days turned into weeks, and soon, hundreds of vibrant paper cranes filled their small home. They hung in long, colorful strings from the ceiling, dancing in the light, each one a tiny vessel of Sujin's unwavering devotion. Her mother would watch her, a faint smile gracing her tired face. The sight of the cranes, and the love they represented, was a medicine more potent than any herb. Sujin's little brother, Minjun, would sometimes try to help, his clumsy fingers struggling with the intricate folds. But his laughter brought moments of brightness into their worried days. One afternoon, the sky began to darken ominously. The wind, which usually whispered through the bamboo groves, started to howl like a hungry wolf. The villagers looked to the heavens with anxious eyes. A great storm was brewing, one fiercer than any they had seen in years. The air grew thick and heavy, and soon rain began to lash down, driven by ferocious gusts of wind. The storm descended upon the village with a terrifying fury, tearing at roofs and rattling windows. Panic began to spread as the river at the edge of the village started to swell, its waters rising at an alarming rate. Inside their home, Sujin clung to her mother's hand. A sudden, violent gust of wind ripped open their paper window, and the storm burst in. In a chaotic whirlwind, Sujin's precious paper cranes were torn from their strings. They were swept up and out into the tempest, a flurry of color disappearing into the gray, churning sky. "No!" Sujin cried, her heart shattering. All her hopes, all her wishes, scattered and lost to the storm. Tears streamed down her face as she watched the last of her cranes vanish into the raging wind. But then, something miraculous happened. Outside, amidst the chaos of the storm, the scattered paper cranes began to glow. A soft, warm light emanated from each one, cutting through the darkness. Instead of being torn apart, they came together, forming a great, luminous flock. They circled high above the village, their collective light shining like a beacon in the stormy night. The frightened villagers, lost in the blinding rain and wind, looked up and saw the glowing birds. The flock of cranes began to move, flying steadily towards the high ground of the old temple on the hill, their light piercing the gloom and showing a clear, safe path. Following the magical guide, the villagers, including Sujin carrying her weak mother, made their way through the storm. The path was treacherous, but the light from the cranes never wavered, guiding them step by step to safety. When the last villager had reached the shelter of the temple, the glowing flock circled one last time before gently dissolving into shimmering dust, their duty done. The storm eventually passed, leaving behind a village battered but a people saved. From that day on, Sujin's mother began to recover, her strength returning as if touched by the same magic that had saved them all. Sujin learned a profound lesson, that love, poured into even the simplest of acts, holds an extraordinary power to create miracles. Her paper cranes, born of a daughter's love, had not just carried her wishes, they had carried the hope and safety of her entire village.